Hello guys and welcome to Salesforce for Noobs. In this video we are going to talk about object-oriented programming. So I'm starting object-oriented programming series. There were a few requests from a few of my subscribers. They were asking about OOP concepts on my channel. Some of them asked about design patterns. However, I want to start OOP series from start and then go to topics like design patterns, etc. So I will start my series with 4 pillars of OOP, then I will move to solid principles, and then I will move to design patterns. So in this video we are going to discuss not only one of the pillars of OOP, which is inheritance, and more specifically virtual classes. So this is our main topic of this video. But in addition, we are going to discuss actually like, let's say, what is object in OOP, what is instance of the class, and so on. So these basic concepts. Because when I was when I first got to the at the university, my major was computer science, and before that I had never actually written a single line of the code, so I didn't understand anything, and my lecturer wasn't explaining very well, I guess. And I never understood, especially object-oriented programming, because I just didn't. It wasn't. So when I was listening carefully, but I didn't understand, because it really matters how someone explains this to you. So I want to deliver it to you in a very understandable way. So actually I lost interest in programming when I didn't understand anything on programming classes, and then I started to learn it by myself, and then I still got interested, because then I finally understood stuff. So, but yeah, the OOP was especially difficult part for me to understand. However, when I learned it, I found out that actually if it is explained well, it's then easy to understand, actually. Yeah, so I will try my best to explain it in the way like I would like someone to explain to me in past. Okay? So, let's start. In this video, as I mentioned, we are going to speak about, to discuss inheritance, and more specifically, virtual classes. So now, what is inheritance, usually, like in general? Inheritance is the ability to extend functionality and add additional functionality to it. So now, what it means? So, specifically, let's speak about Apex. So in Apex, right, what inheritance means is to extend its ability to extend the class and add additional functionality to it. Let's say we have employee class, right? Employee class. So all employees might have some default behavior, right? Let's say all employees can get vacation. All employees are getting salaries. So let's say these two behaviors are common for all employees, right? So in employee class we can have these methods like get vacation, get salary, and then we can have child classes which will extend the employee. Let's say manager class, service agent class, sales rep class, right? So they are all extending the employee. Extensions of the class in inheritance should be logical extension, okay? Because now manager class, so manager is also employee, so all managers are employees, all service agents are employees, or sales reps are employees. So this is the logical extension when we are extending employee class with manager or sales rep or service agent. This is logical extension. And now they are extending the logic from employee, which means that they all can get salary, they can all get vacation. However, in addition, they might have additional functionality to them. For example, manager can have additional functionality specific to only manager, which will be written in manager class because it is specific to only manager. Let's say manager I don't know, can fire people. So they can have fire method. Let's say service agents can have method named get support. Let's say sales rep can have method sell. So those methods are additional functionality which are specific to those child classes. Okay? So they can use functionality provided in their parent class employee, which is default for everyone, and then they can add more functionality to it. Because now, what is the point? Why should I repeat methods like get salary and get vacation in those child classes, like in every child class? Why should I write those methods in every child class when I can have it in the parent class and use it from there? Because we shouldn't duplicate the code, right? And now, in this case, I'm talking about just two methods, get salary and get vacation, but there can be many methods and many properties as well, variables, right? So it's really insufficient to duplicate this code in multiple classes, okay? So let me show you actually with the example. So let's say I will create employee class, and I will write here virtual keyword. So as soon as we write here virtual keyword, now what happens is that this class now is available to be extended. So this class is ready to be a parent, okay? And I can write here, let's start writing by public virtual void get vacation. And let's say every company, let's say this company has a default minimum vacation days, which is 10 days, okay? Okay. Alright, so you might notice I wrote here virtual in method 2, like with I use it with the class, which made this class extendable, and I'm also using it on method. So it means that if I use virtual on the method, then child classes, which will extend employee class, they can use the same method name, same method signature, and they can override this method functionality. For example, manager can have 20 days of vacation, because this is just default, this is just minimum vacation days here, but managers can override. Maybe service agents will also override, right? So all of them can override functionality when we have virtual keyword here, okay? So let's create a new class and call it manager, and here we should actually extend the employee class, okay? So this extends keyword means that this class now becomes child of employee class, okay? That's what it means. And now, we are at the point to explain what are objects, okay? So manager John, new manager. So what are objects? Object is a specific instance of a class, okay? Because we can have multiple managers, right? So we can have John, we can have, I don't know, Maria, we can have Matt, we can have Diana, and so on, right? So we can have multiple managers. So each of the instances are representing the specific object, specific manager, right? So that's what object means, and you will understand better when you practice it, and with examples actually, which I will provide. So yeah, and now why are we writing these braces here? This brackets actually we are writing because this means we are calling the empty constructor. So under the hood, actually, this class has empty constructor. So constructor is a special method. Okay, so there is actually the constructor like this under the hood, and constructors are special methods which are executed whenever you instantiate. So whenever you create objects. So here, as soon as you create the object John, this constructor can be called. Okay, so this is empty in this case. So you can add here something like, I don't know, hello. You can actually do some stuff in constructor. Usually here, like in constructor, people are passing some variables, and then they are using it. So we will actually see this further in this series, how like we will need constructors, and also in design patterns they are used heavily. So we will see all this stuff in action, right? But today I want to keep it more simple, okay? But yeah, if I execute, so note here that I'm not calling any method here. I'm not calling any method. I just created the object, and if I open this, you will see hello. So constructor is executed as soon as object is created. So it doesn't need explicit call to it. It's not required to call this. It's directly executed once object is created. So now I will call john.getVacation, and you will note that I don't have, in manager class, I don't have any getVacation method, right? However, if I call this, you see, it's getting printed 10 days. So even if you don't use the methods from the parent class in child class, even if you don't override them, you can still use those methods, those default behavior of parent class. Okay? Because what is happening is that once you call a method on the object, it will see, okay, so this object is instance of what? This object is instance of manager. Okay, then it will try to find this method in this class. It will not find it. Then it will look up to the parent class. Okay, it's looking up to the parent class, and yep, it finds the method here, so then this method is executed. Because that happens because we are extending the employee, right? And also it happens because we have here correct access modifier. If this access modifier is private, let me remind, actually let's talk about access modifiers a little bit, right? Because this really deserves our attention. So let me, in Apex, access modifiers in Apex. So private, this is the strictest one, okay? So this access modifier is default. Yeah, what it means is that if I don't provide access modifier on the class, it's by default, on method, if I don't provide it by default, it will be private, okay? But it's good practice to provide always access modifiers. It's more readable, okay? So it means that method or variable is accessible. So private method or private variable is accessible only within the Apex class in which the method is defined. Which means that if you have private methods or private variables, right? Private method. This private method can be called only from this class itself, okay? Maybe in another method, like if you have here another method, public or this method can be private as well. However, then that method also will be called from this class only. So here you can call private method. Okay. Oops. However, you cannot call private methods or private variables from anywhere else, only from the same class where they are defined. Okay? So this is the strictest one. Okay, protected one. Okay, protected access modifier. This means that method or variable is visible to any inner class. Inner class means if you have another class here. Okay. Inner class. And in inner class you can refer to the methods which you will have defined in this class, let's say, or variables, right? Protected prot method. So you can call this method from inner class, or you can call protected methods or protected variables from the class which extends this class, so which is the child of this class, right? So you can use access modifier for instance methods and member variables, inner class, and yeah, so visible. So protected methods and variables are visible to any inner classes in the defining Apex class and to the classes that extend the defining Apex class. You can only use access modifier for instance methods and variables. Okay, yeah, this is yeah. So just remember, yeah, from inner classes and from classes which extend the class in which protected variable or method is defined. Public, it means that in case of public, actually, public variables and methods will be accessible from everywhere from the same namespace. Okay? And then the global is most permissive one. Okay, most permissive access modifier. This means that the method or variable can be used by Apex code that has access to the class, not just the Apex code in same application. Okay? This access modifier must be used for any method that must be referenced outside of the application, either SOAP API or by the Apex code. If you declare method as variable or variable as global, you must also declare the class that contains it as global. So global classes and methods are used very frequently. For example, when we are creating a web service, so when external application should do a call in our Salesforce instance, and we want to receive those call-ins and we want to process them, right? So if we want to receive them, like you cannot receive them with private method or public class. So it should be global, okay? Because global is permitting actually also external applications to access, right? So that's why it's used while creating web services. All right. So inner class. Okay. So now we have also manager. We saw that we can use parent methods, even though they are, even if this is not defined as virtual. I want to see, and let's put it as public. So even this is not. Actually, I wanted to show you example. Yeah, like let me get back here. So execute same code. Oh, sorry, execute entire code. Yeah, you see, method is not visible. Employee.getVacation. So what happened is that Apex looked into the John object, which is the instance of manager. It looked for getVacation. It didn't find anything, and then it didn't find anything here. I mean, it found, but it doesn't have permission to execute this because this is private method, so it should be executed only from the same class. Okay. All right. So let's make it public again, or let's make it protected. So protected, as I mentioned, it can be accessed either from in a class or from the class from which it is extended. So in this case, we are trying now to access it from anonymous window, and it will not let us to do it. Let me do it. Yeah, you see, it's not visible. However, I can override that method here in the child class and refer that method from the child class, and it will work. Okay, but let me show you that example later. First of all, I want to demonstrate that even if you remove virtual keyword, and let's get back this to public. So now, even if you don't have virtual method, right, still this will be printed. So you will see here hello and 10 days. Why? Because same reason. So it will try first of all to find the get vacation in manager class. It will not find, and then it will go back to employee, and yeah, it will find here. So it's not required to use virtual just because to be able to call methods which are not present in child class, because anyway they will be called if they are present in parent and if they are public, right? However, yeah, main purpose of virtual is to ability to override them. Okay, and it's not mandatory to override, because here as you can see we are not overriding, but we are not receiving any error. However, we can override. We are permitted to override. So public override get vacation. Oops, I'm always forgetting return types. System debug 20 days. So now you will see it takes some time. Okay. So debug only hello and 20 days instead of 10 days, because now what Apex did is it tried to search the get vacation method in the manager class, and it found the get vacation method. So it found that we have this get vacation method and we are overriding the parent method, and it executed this instead of executing this one, right? Because we are overriding now this class, this method. So yeah, I wanted to show you, if I define this method as protected, we can still use this. All right. So yeah, we can still use this. However, if I define this as private, we cannot use it, because so here we are trying to override the method which is not visible to this class, because private is visible to only same class. Sorry. So if I execute this, yeah, method is not visible. That's what I wanted to show about this. So we discussed the access modifiers. We discussed we cannot see private and protected. We cannot see protected from an anonymous window. We can see it from the child class. However, we cannot see private methods and variables from even child classes, right? Okay. Now, also what we can do is we can specifically, maybe there is some functionality. So let's see if I create here public, let's get it back to protected maybe. Okay, let's create public void, virtual void get salary. Maybe there is a minimum salary in the company which is defined as, let's say, 1000 USD per month, and and we want to get that minimum amount of salary, and in addition we want to get manager specific salary, I don't know, additional salary. So let's say now we want to use functionality of a parent and in addition add a functionality of the child. So we can override the getSalary method, and if we want to execute this and then execute something in addition, we can achieve this by let's say write super.getSalary. So super means that it will go up to the parent and it will access parent's method. Okay. So let's try to save. It doesn't exist. GetSalary. Oops, I didn't spell right. Okay. Alright, so now here I will put GetSalary, execute, and I'm only executing the parent logic. I want to, in addition, execute in addition 3000 USD. Let me mark this as open log and execute again. I was forgetting all the time to mark it. Okay, hello, $1,000 in addition $3,000. So yeah, firstly we call the parent getSalary and then we execute additional logic. So now why it is important to put here super? Let me show you why. If I delete super and put just getSalary and execute it, we will hit the stack depth of 1000. So 1000 is a limit for stack depth in Salesforce. So basically now what happened is that we called getSalary on manager. Well, if this getSalary didn't exist, it would go to parent and execute this logic and we'll just get printed 1000 USD and everything would be fine. However, now this getSalary was found in child itself, right? And then again it was called, and again searching was started from this class itself, and it found again this method, and then again it came here. Again getSalary is called. GetSalary is called, GetSalary is called, GetSalary is attempted to be executed. Again, GetSalary is called. So we are in infinite loop. So methods are getting added on the stack like this infinitely, and finally it hit 1000, and 1000 is a limit in Salesforce. So it is stack depth limit. Okay, so that's why it's important to indicate here super, because super says that do not attempt to find this method here in child, but go directly to the parent. Okay, that's what super means. Yeah. Also, what we can do is that we can also extend child class itself. It's not a problem. So this child class itself can be virtual. And you can create another class, let's say product manager, because manager can also have logical extensions like product manager, sales manager, service manager, and so on and so on and so on, right? So this can be product manager, and product manager can have something in addition, like let's first of all extend manager. By the way, one class cannot extend more than one class. Okay, so this class can extend now one class, in this case manager, but it cannot in addition extend another class. Okay, so now we are extending manager, and we can have here public void conduct Scrum, maybe Scrum meeting or whatever, I don't know, system dot debug conducting meeting. Okay, so product manager can use manager's functionality. In addition, they can have different functionalities, right? So yeah, that's why. By the way, now yeah, I can write for sure product manager John equals to new product manager and conduct Scrum meeting like this. However, I will show you another way. So conduct meeting, yeah. So this is working. So also what I can do here is manager. So this is very useful when we will talk about design patterns. You will see why this is needed. So you can assign child class to parent class's type. Okay, you can do same with employee and manager. Employee and manager, like this. You can do the same. Okay. So you have defined here the type, and then you are assigning new manager. So you can do manager John equals to new manager, and also you can do employee John equals new manager. So because this is extension of employee, so still you can use this employee type and assign manager type to it. It's doable in OOP, and this is the power actually of OPA. You will understand this better when we will cover design patterns. It will be very useful because in design patterns and in solid principles as well, because when you don't know exact implementation of the class, you can use the parent implementation or the interface type, and then you can dynamically assign to that without knowing the concrete type. So this is very confusing for you now, probably. However, you will understand it when I will explain solid principles and design patterns, okay? Because it will be useful in design patterns. However, explanation of it will start from solid principles. So yeah, basically I think that's all what I wanted to show you for today. I hope it wasn't very confusing. I hope I explained it well. You might want to rewatch this video multiple times because it's indeed like the topic like you need to wrap your head around, and it's not very like a piece of cake. However, once you understand it, right, it's not difficult after that, right? Because it's a challenge to, first of all, to try to find someone who will explain to you in understandable way, and that's the most challenge. But once it's delivered well, it's really not difficult, let's say. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, then please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to your friends. And see you next time. Bye.